Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Lectures from Fallen Wisdom. And this is where I impart knowledge that has been lost to humans for thousands of years. Not since the days of Christ, really, have these ideas really been explored and paid attention to in the proper way. Now, I'm going to teach you guys a technique of basically manifesting superpowers, being able to control your destiny and your world in a way that almost makes it like gives you the power that you might have in a dream, in a lucid dream where you know you're dreaming. And the first thing that needs to be done in this dream, which this is a dream, make no mistake about it, you are living in a dream right now. It is a mental construct that you have created, and you can exist within that mental construct as a helpless being that just reacts to the things that your mind actually creates for you, or you can actually create with your mind the things that you want, just like you would do in a lucid dream in your real life. Now, the best way, first of all, that you need to be doing, like in order to get up to the level where you can get to that point where you are like a magic man, where you can actually like manifest reality in a way that like it looks miraculous, but really is just a matter of using the skills that everybody fucking has. Okay? So it's very important just to like make sure you're taking all the time like really deep breaths. Okay, and if you're not taking deep breaths, then you should just be giving like some kind of lecture like I'm doing. This is an example of taking deep breaths, talking. But if you're just sitting there and you're just breathing shallow breaths, you're not going to be able to have any kind of grip or any kind of handle on this reality. In fact, the reality starts to take you over and incorporate itself into it. Your subconscious basically takes over. You want your conscious brain to be more powerful than your subconscious, and the way to give your conscious brain the adequate power it needs is to give it oxygen. So do me a favor right now. Just take a deep breath and try to like take it in through your diaphragm, like, you know, just slow and in through your nose, and then hold it, and then blow out through your mouth. Every time you do that, something like that, you reset yourself and you set yourself on the right path of breathing. Most people will do something like that and then they'll just go about their day continually breathing in a shitty way. But if you do whatever you can to keep up the breathing. I mean, I have counters. I use tally counters. I give myself rewards for how many breaths that I get up to, because I want like my body to be like a wind tunnel. I want there to be oxygen pumping through my blood. And then what happens is I start to feel really good, and when I finally get up to that level, you know, and sometimes it takes like to do some exercise or to go for a jog or something, to really get your blood pumping and get your breathing right. And then what you want to do is, while you know how you were breathing when you were running, you want to keep breathing like that. You know, you want to treat that your existence here on land as though it's an existence in a body of water. You want to be taking long swimmer breaths whenever you're in an idle moment. And the best way to do that is just a presence of mind thing. It's just constantly go back to it. Go back to your breathing. Go back to taking a deep breath. Make sure just your deep breaths are becoming second nature. And what will happen is once you get up to this level where you're just like taking in tons of oxygen and you're feeling really good, another thing you should be avoiding obviously are sugary things, because they tend to like interfere with your breathing to keep oxygen from getting to your extremities and whatnot. So you want to make sure you're eating, you know, basically like lower sugar items. It doesn't matter if it's have fat in it or whatever. It's just a matter of sugar. You really got to avoid that. That's the poison that they've chosen to keep on as a legal drug to kill us all. So don't fall into the trap. Not that you can die, you can't, but you can get old in this plane and have a really shitty time with some fucking ulcers and all kinds of horrible crap that they try to that the Illuminati has been inflicting upon ordinary people, because They want to control the size of our population. It's getting too big. We need another planet. And obviously, if everybody knew the secrets of this lecture of fallen wisdom, we could be in big trouble. But the point, as a tiny planet. But the thing is, there'll be a certain set that always will this shit will just not be able to get to because they're too dense. But just take it from me, man. Now this is where I get in some crazy shit too, because once you get to that level, okay, where you're breathing really hard and you're manifesting shit, guess what? All bets are off. The past is no longer the past anymore. Yes, you can manipulate the past. Now, the way you do that, like suppose there's something that happened that you really regret and you wish that it didn't happen, and you want to be able to go back in time and fix it. Guess what? You can do that. You need to really be up on your breathing, man. You really need to be like focused. You need to be like a saint in your actions. You can't listen. This is very important. In order to go full force into this spiritual existence and be able to manifest yourself almost like a god on this plane, you need to let go of all that petty human shit, all that stuff that like ties you to this petty world. And so you don't want to be like engaged in any kind of criminal behavior. You don't want to be engaged whatever. What I mean is you don't want to be engaged in any harmful behavior. You want to be engaged in any negative type behavior, okay? You don't want to like fight with somebody if they're insulting you. You don't fight with them, and that's the source of the Jesus Christ message. It's always saying, look, don't fight, because it just keeps you away from the power. It keeps you away from the power of being a god, because no one's going to give the power of a god to a sniveling little human who thinks about little petty fucking issues. Okay, so you need to let go of all that stuff and become like almost like a saint. And not almost, exactly, a saint. You have to do your best. And the reason is because you get power for being that, okay? You get everlasting life. You get everlasting youth. You get so many things. You get magical powers, okay? There's no such thing as an evil warlock with magical powers. That's something of myth. The only warlocks that exist are the good ones and the ones that can manifest their powers in this plane. Now, when it comes to changing the past, it's very difficult to detect whether you've done so or not. But trust me, you are changing the past. And because of your breathing today, you have prevented many misfortunes already that you don't even remember. So anytime a misfortune befalls you, it is a signal for you to keep your breathing up, because guess what? That misfortune might very well just become part of some dreamscape and not really be part of reality anymore. You won't know the change. You won't see the change because your memories will adjust accordingly. If you react in the face of that death with grief and sorrow and shallow breathing and despair, you will only descend into a lower world where there's just no possibilities. The guy's dead, you'll never get him back. But if you take that emotional trauma of somebody dying, some close friend of yours, some animal maybe, maybe your parent, and you focus on it as a reminder. You say to yourself, this person who died did not die in vain. This person will be the spark that takes me to the next level. And when I get to that next level, guess who will be there? That person. Yes, it's happened to me. People have come back from the dead. Of course, my memory is adjusted accordingly, so I don't remember. I don't remember that they were dead. But every once in a while, I'll have a little bit of a dream, or I'll get a little bit of an inkling, or I'll get a little bit of a old memory. And this is just something that I've been able to tap into, smoking a lot of herb and stuff. But you get a little shadow of what was, of what you changed with your positive breathing pattern. You see, the mind that we've been equipped with is not just a thinking mechanism. It is a creative mechanism. It is something that actually is involved in creating our reality. And to the extent that reality is out there and just objective on its face is just a little bit of a naive kind of old Newtonian way of looking at reality. Reality, as we know from quantum physics, is a series of possibilities. And those possibilities are always splitting off into new possibilities. And there are basically parallel worlds where concurrent realities are occurring and the different possibilities are manifesting themselves in different worlds. So, of course, that explains where you go when you die. You split from one world where you leave a corpse, and then you go into another world where you are alive, and you don't even realize that you've died in one world where they are having your funeral and it's over. Usually it's a lower world. You're shedding the world. Sometimes people are going in a deep descent, and that is they're spiraling downward. So they're dying in higher worlds and then descending into a lower world where it's a very bad place. Like most immoral criminals are constantly trading up one shittier world for another shittier world based on their actions. You get rewarded with good worlds based on your reaction, based on your moral worth, based on the good deeds that you do. But it's also based upon the way in which you treat your body and the way in which you conduct your oxygen machine. And if your oxygen machine is being used listlessly, or if it's breathing in conformity with a kind of depressed mental state, it's not going to get up to the level where you where you can manifest powers to time travel, to bring back the dead, to stay immortal, to stay young, to stay strong, to get stronger instead of weaker over time. All these things come first and foremost from the breathing, and then also from the attitude, from the orientation of the mind. The mind has to be oriented towards good, towards helping people, towards love. That's where the power all comes from. And, of course, this is an age-old concept that comes out of many religions, but people don't understand the power of love. You know, I mean, Huey Lewis sang it, but I think he really meant it. It's a powerful force. And it's something that it's just incalculably powerful, and it will bring you unbelievable powers that you won't even believe that you could have ever had. Will I eventually be able to? I believe that if we can develop this together, we might be able to make ourselves learn how to fly. I think there's just, a little bit of doubt in our head about gravity and all these things that kind of keeps us grounded. But that's this reality. That's this level, and we can get up to a higher level. The fact that I'm talking to you means that we're both basically on the same level right now. So either one of us is going to go up, or we're both going to go up, or one of us is going to go down and the other is going to go down, or, we're both going to stay the same. But I believe that stagnation is decline. You need to be going up and up and up and up. So for the first week of this practice of becoming a magician, of becoming a time traveler, of becoming what it craves and what your body needs to become the highest level performing body that it can become. So all these things are just going to be very important for you, and the main thing is the breathing. So don't even worry about doing anything else for this next week, okay? I'm going to, probably come back and do another Letters of Fallen Wisdom soon, probably before that. But over this new week, I want you to just relax, okay? I know you have a lot of goals. I know you have a lot of things you want to get done. All those things will get done, believe me. But the first thing you need to do is get your breathing right. You should be taking full, deep breaths all the time, okay? And I know I keep repeating myself, but it's so crucial, okay? And then the other aspect is perfect morality, okay? If there's even an inkling that you might be doing something wrong, if a cashier gives you the wrong change, you don't just stick there and shove it in your pocket and say, fuck you, what an idiot. No, You tell the cashier, you're like, look, you gave me too much change. I guarantee you, man, any money that you would have gained out of that, you're going to lose anyway, okay? You can't gain things in an improper way. That's the fallacy of existence that people have bought into. That's Satan. That's the whole fucking Luciferian idea that you can take, that you can harm other people and get your way. It doesn't work. It has never worked, and it will always bring you into a lower realm where there are many, many devils to kill you. So you want to get out of devil worlds, breathe your way out of them. Breathe your way out of the devil world, okay? The devil world will have Mitt Romney as a president. The devil world has George Bush as the president. We both live there, you and me, listener. It's not nice, okay? Luckily, we've ascended into a higher level. We have a higher level president right now. But if we let ourselves dip below that level, that will all go away, and we might end up in a fascist dictatorship as a reward for our shallow, crappy breathing and our suspect morality. The third prong of this very important energy producer and this very important restructuring of the human power matrix is basically to never judge other people, okay? It's very important. Just don't judge them, okay? Don't judge them personally. I mean, you can judge their actions all you want, but do not make fundamental judgments about people, just fundamental, okay? Just like that person's evil, that person's this. That's not for you to assess, okay? That's for a God's eye view to assess. And, of course, that's always in the Bible. Don't be judged lest ye be judged. Don't judge lest ye be judged. And it's not really said in a way that's clear to people, but the bottom line is when you start judging a lot of people, the first thing you do after you're done judging everybody else is then apply those harsh kind of standards that inevitably all judging is involved in. You apply those to yourself, and you find inevitably, because you have a very good view of all your failings, that you don't measure up. You don't measure up to your own standards of that you're using to judge others, and that erodes your confidence. That erodes your feeling of happiness. That erodes your presence of mind, and then essentially what happens is you go into a lower oxygen world. Things start happening, things that you don't like, and then you start thinking that the world is all against you, and then you become like an evil, corrupt person. And that's how the loss of innocence occurs. The loss of innocence, as a child, you're innocent, and then these events happen to you, like somebody might get molested, or somebody might get beaten up, or bullied, or whatever. And you gradually are tested, and the ones who pass the test are the ones who get out of that without letting their innocence be corrupted, without becoming some kind of demon out of in reaction to demonic proddings. You need to just always try to translate any kind of negativity that comes your way. You have to be the machine that makes it into a positive. And so whenever something misfortunate comes at you, it's very important. Anytime a misfortune happens upon you, it's very important to understand you can, because it's a dramatic event and because it's something that has happened to you, you can change it, okay? If you take deep breaths, it will dissipate. That is, it will go away. It won't even have happened, not that you will remember. But also, while it is still in existence, you can use it as an engine for the betterment of yourself. And any way that you can kind of imagine how something might possibly make you better, let it do that. Let a misfortune turn into a positive. And the best way for it to do that is for you to pay attention and see, what is this pushing me towards, and what is the message behind this event that's happened to me? Because there's always some message. There's always some reason why something's happened, and it may be something bad. And it's usually to get you to move in another direction, because it was the only way to get your attention. So misfortune requires, in the face of it, deep breathing, calm, understanding that everything is reversible. We are living in a dream world where you have much more power over it than you believe. And the way you achieve that power over it is through saintly behavior, never judging, deep breathing, staying away from sugar, and being, just calm, relaxing, relaxed, okay? Feel free to feel good. Get rid of all the guilt that's in you. Believe me, anything that you're guilty about, you can go back and change. But you need to first develop yourself. You need to become the kind of magician that can affect his past, his present, his future with just a thought and a deep breath. Thanks for listening. This is Lectures of Fallen Wisdom, and I am Mike Trojan. I'll be back soon.